if you're currently putting off a task you need to do and watching this video instead, first of all, welcome. There are millions of people in the same situation as you, so don't worry. We all procrastinate at some point, putting off the things we need to do. But is it just laziness, or are there deeper reasons behind it? Today, we're going to explore the answer to that question together. Sometimes, it feels so difficult to get started on a task that no matter what we do, even though we know we need to begin, something always seems to hold us back, right? Maybe we end up getting distracted by other tasks or start tidying up the room. We might ask ourselves, really, now is the time to clean the room? But somehow we still end up doing it. So, why is that? Because procrastination is often more complex than we think. Our brains try to protect us from negative emotions, especially anxiety. Think about it. When you want to start a task, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? What if I fail at this task? Or what if I can't do it well enough? These thoughts unconsciously activate your brain and start pulling you away from the task at hand. This is a completely unconscious process, and before you know it, you've postponed starting the task. So, procrastination is often rooted in our fears, which immobilize us, and this pattern keeps repeating. Now, you might be wondering, but I always procrastinate and then work under immense stress. What's up with that? That's because we often wait until procrastination has boxed us into a corner, and that last-minute stress becomes a sort of motivation for us. However, this is quite exhausting both mentally and physically in the long run, isn't it? Our stress levels rise, our self-confidence diminishes, and ultimately, we can't enjoy the work we do. We should also ask ourselves, why can we get some tasks done immediately, but keep postponing others? There's something interesting here. The tasks we tend to procrastinate on are usually the ones we want to do perfectly, those that challenge us or make us anxious about the outcome. For instance, instead of starting a project or studying for an exam, we might spend time on our phones because our brains choose that short-term relief. Instant gratification often takes precedence over long-term obligations. This is another aspect of procrastination. Our brains offer us alternative distractions to escape the anxiety that comes with challenging tasks. Social media, television, or even watching this video could be part of that escape. So how can we break this cycle? The essence is this. Procrastination is actually our self-preservation mechanism, but it isn't always a solution that works. We need to teach our brains that starting isn't as hard as we fear. In fact, most of the time, once we begin, things start to flow, and those anxieties suddenly disappear. Now think back to a task you postponed recently. After you finally completed it, didn't you ask yourself, why did I wait so long? Because that task wasn't as hard as you thought it would be. Therefore, taking the first step is always the most critical point. Let's try this together. After watching this video, start with a tiny step toward a task you've been putting off. Maybe dedicate just 10 minutes, or complete a small part of it. The important thing is to start. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Just take action. And one last note. Overcoming procrastination takes time. It's a process. But when you start with small steps, you'll see that everything becomes easier. Trust yourself. You can break this cycle. If you've gained something from this video, now is the time to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start, because that moment will never come.